What's up, guys? It's me, Andrew, the Movement Monk. Today we will be doing some spine care stuff. So the first thing I want you to do is come on down to the floor, and we are going to be doing some self muscle release work. Pretty much you're going to grab your fingers starting at the top of the neck and work your way down, and you're pretty much going to just grab a big piece of your neck and just try to pull out there and use as much pressure as you need. I like to use a lot here. But again, every part of the spine is going to be a little bit different. So apply different pressure. And again, just kind of really dig your fingers in there and then pull out away from the spine. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to foam roller back. So if you have a foam roller around your house, I pretty much want you to lay on it with even pressure and just gradually go from the top all the way down to the bottom of your spine. Again, using even pressure and even speed the entire time. This is not a race to get as fast as you can up and down, but again, just kind of really savor that stretch there. So you see here, I'm kind of angling myself to my right side here. I recommend doing that after doing a couple of straight pass-throughs. And then you're going to switch over to that opposite side. Show both sides some love. Okay, so again, even speed, even pressure when you're going up and down here. The next thing we're going to do is called a T-spine foam roller extension. What I want you to do is grab the back of your head to give your neck some support and think about extending your upper back toward the ground behind you, not trying to move the low back. So think about keeping your hips on the ground and moving with control here. Play with the different angles. So I'm going to the right, and I'm going to go to the left, and the T-spine can move in just so many different ways, and you want to make sure you're exploring all those ranges of motion. So play around with it, see what feels the best, and again, move slow and controlled, not trying to move the low back, but just the upper back only, giving your neck some support. For the hip bridge, I want you to think about setting your spine first. So what that means is pushing your low back into the floor and think about bracing your abs lightly. Once that spine is set, think about driving your hips up toward the ceiling, and then you shouldn't feel like anything in your low back at all. You should feel this all in your hip or butt muscles, and the spine's supported by the surrounding muscle up and downstream, so we want to make sure those glutes are turned on or have adequate amount of activation to them, and this should kind of help free up a lot of stiffness you may feel in your low back. Go slow and then try to hold that last rep there for a couple seconds. The next thing we're going to do is a frog bridge, which is very similar to what we just did with the hip bridge, except you're going to bring your feet together, sole to sole, and then drive your hips up while maintaining that spine position there. You'll feel this a lot more in the glutes and hip muscles because we are abducting, or bringing your legs out to the side, which really kind of targets the glutes in a very more specific way. Try it out and get all that blood flow to that lower body. This next one's pretty simple. Stay on your back and grab one of your legs and bring it up and over to the side. You should feel a stretch in the hips. We were just warming up with the bridge variations. Hold each position for a couple seconds there and take a deep breath in and out. Try to pull yourself a little bit deeper into range of motion as you go through your reps. For the Swedish spine rolls, I totally made that up, by the way. You're going to grab both your knees and then think about curling your spine into a little bit of flexion there and just rolling side to side. It's a great massage for the low back and all the other spine muscles. All right, this one's one of my favorites. So we're going to do a spine floor peel, and what I want you to think about doing is trying to move one piece of your spine at a time, or just, I call it segment work. So you're going to start by coming to the ground in that bridge position and pushing your low back fully against the floor. And I want you to imagine that there is a piece of string on the front of your body, and it's pulling you up gradually, separating 1 inch of your spine at a time there. So I'm going to think about driving through my heels, squeezing my butt, And the difference between this and the hip bridge we did just a couple of minutes ago is you will try to extend or try to move through your entire spine. So you will feel it kind of in the joints there, not just primarily in those hip muscles. The goal of this is, again, to move slow and controlled and find one piece of your spine at a time. As you're reversing, you're going to think about pushing your upper back to your mid back, to your low back, to your hips, back down to the ground. We're going to hit up some more spine segment work by doing a Sphinx Pose, which will work the spine in the opposite direction. So come face down and using as much arm pressure as you need. Think about lifting your chin up, trying to extend through that upper back, through that mid back, through that low back there. Go as high only as you feel comfortable. Everyone's going to be a little bit different here. So if you feel acute pain in just one part of your back, you probably went a little too far. So again, just try to move slow, try to survey your body, see what's going on, and get a nice even stretch throughout the whole back here. Once you're up in that final upright position, I like to just kind of rock left and right and move that stretch around a little bit. So again, no pain, go up to your range of motion that's appropriate to you and play with that movement. For the next exercise, we're going to be doing some child pose rock. So crawl those fingers way out in front of you and sitting those hips back to your heels. You're going to feel a big stretch to the upper back, to the low back, through the hips. Just a lot of good stuff being stretched out here. So go slow and really savor all that good stuff. I also want you to integrate some breathing exercises here. So on that last rep of your set, take that deep breath in and exhale out. And you'll feel more stuff being moved around. So breathing, really important thing when it comes to mobilizing. Play with the angles too. So I'm going to bring my right hand over to my left. And I'm going to think about sitting my body over to my right side. And I'll predominantly feel a stretch on my right lat and just other stuff on that side there. Maybe really play with it by going over to the side a lot or just a little bit. And again, the ranges of motion are endless here. Repeat on the other side and find those positions to make yourself feel the best. The most important thing about the hip hinge is keeping your back straight or neutral. So that's why I like to do a kneeling position for this. All you have to do is cross your hands on your chest. Think about sitting your butt back to your heels, keeping your spine in one straight line. As you come back up to a nice upright position, think about squeezing your butt or your hip muscles together, increasing that blood flow to those hips, supporting that position of the spine. The spine peel down can be a little tricky at first, but let's kind of go through this step by step. I want you to start by the kneeling position in a nice upright straight back. And think about tucking your chin down, trying to round your neck to your upper back, to your mid back, to your low back. When you reverse up to the upright position, you're going to do the opposite by trying to straighten out your low back to your mid back, to your upper back, to the neck. Go slow on the way up and down. Your finished position will be lightly touching your head down to the ground, and your ending position will be you back into that upright position. So again, go slow here and try to move each independent portion of your spine at a time. I'm gonna get a little crazy with all this spine range of motion. So stay in that kneeling position, put your hands over your chest, and you're thinking about doing a circular motion with your upper back here to start. And as you feel more comfortable, you integrate more of the spine at a time. So I'm gonna start to move through my low back here, and I'm trying to create as much controlled range of motion as I can. And I'm really gonna emphasize that word control there. I'm not just kind of doing random circles here, letting momentum take me. I am controlling each portion of this movement here. So you should be doing the same. You should feel no weird like aches or pains because your muscles are controlling the positions of the joint. All right, time for the sexy stuff. Let's wake up those ab muscles that will help support the position of the spine. We're gonna first start off by doing a straight arm plank with a little toe lift off. So come to a nice sturdy braced plank and just gently alternate lifting your toes off the floor just a couple inches. And again, you're trying to keep the back straight, prevent any extra movement. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna wake up those side ab muscles, also known as your obliques. You're gonna come to your elbow, make sure your body's straight, and gently pull your hips up toward the ceiling and then back down to the ground. Again, the big theme here is moving with control, trying to get a big sense of what's going on inside our body, creating the sense of mindful movement when you're doing these exercises. For the spinal waves, we're going to integrate everything we learned in this past video. So you're going to come to a straight arm plank position and you're going to try and move each individual part of your spine at a time by bringing your hips up to the ceiling and then back down. It may look a little silly at first, but it feels really good once you get the hang of it. Let's finish off with some back rolls. So I want you to think about sitting in an upright position and rolling back and bringing your knees into your chest. So we will use a little momentum here. And as you feel better with this particular movement, try progressing to straight legs. And you're going to put more stress, more stretch on that lower back there. And as it feels, again, better and better, get a little bit bigger in that range of motion, trying to bring those feet to the ground above you. And I hope this video is helpful, guys. I hope your spine feels a little less stiff than it did in the beginning. And I'll see you guys next time.